Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am so happy you're here. We are going to cover Squarespace Galleries and primarily focus in on 7.0. So if you're building a brand new site and you're not sure if you have 7.0 or 7.1, most likely if it's brand new when this video has come out, it is a 7.1 website. So just check in on that. But if you have a 7.0 website, we are going to cover Squarespace Galleries. About 7 months ago, I published a video that has been my most viewed video thus far, and I've received a few questions following that video about Squarespace Galleries and more information about Squarespace Galleries. The original video was about galleries inside Squarespace and how to set them up. And we're going to cover a few questions now and a few more tips and tricks that I find useful when setting up galleries in Squarespace. So right before we begin, I would love to ask to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you are looking for more information like this, simple videos that help you get the job done, because most of you are business owners, most of you are not here to become website developers, and this will help you get your site where you need it to be so you can focus in on your business. Also, I make cool videos about just living a digital life and how you balance that on and offline. So you'll find other useful information here as well. So in this video, we're going to cover 5 topics. That will be creating a gallery, understanding summaries and summary limits, linking galleries to additional pages or to additional galleries, designing native galleries, and using filters within galleries. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to cover a question that I received, and this is how the question has read. I want to build a photo gallery site in Squarespace. I've read everything I could find, but can't quite nail it down. Your video is the closest I've come to a solution. I want to have a homepage that shows thumbnails of various generic sections such as travel, landscape, wildlife. When a user clicks on a thumbnail, they will be taken to a secondary page with thumbnails for subsections such as travel, Japan, travel, Rome, travel, Alaska. Cool. When they click on a thumbnail there, such as travel Japan, they will go to a gallery of photos of Japan. My issue is linking these various levels. Also, I'm using Squarespace 7.1, the Brine template. So on my screen here, you can see the Brine template. This is what we will be working from. What I've done in advance is create a few galleries for us to reference. So the homepage gallery, here's Japan, here is like wildlife portraits, here's a generic travel, right? So there's Japan, there's Germany, and I think I did one more gallery for a location, but we'll find it along the way. So as we get into this, this is going to be the first thing we're going to uncover is creating galleries. There are a few ways to create galleries. You can create a gallery as a gallery, like you click this plus sign and create an actual gallery. You could create a gallery on a page where you go into a specific page. Let me just click this demo contact page. You can go into any type of page and then click anywhere on the site and then create some sort of gallery that shows up like a slideshow, carousel, grid, or stack. You could also create a gallery that is in a gallery format. So you can see this is a page format, this is a gallery format. You could create it back here and then link it onto a page. And let me show you what that looks like. So if I go into contact page, this contact page again, let's just say gallery page, and I click on this tab here, you'll see that I could easily go in and go to summary. I could do this in gallery as well, but I'll get there in a moment. I could go to summary and create one of these. So let's say I want it to look like a grid. Well, I could click on that and you'll see all my galleries show up here. So my gallery of Japan is here, and then display, it shows the date posted, but let's say I don't want that. Show thumbnail, show excerpt, show title, don't need any of that. And then you could play with the layout, right? And we'll get into all that stuff in a moment. But I could basically link a gallery from inside a page. Now, the one thing to consider here, and I'll touch on this again later, is that there is a limit. Anytime you use a summary, there will be a limit of the number of photos, which is 30. Why 30? It's probably for SEO purposes. I'm not sure. Outside of that, there is a lot of headache for people when they find the gallery look and feel they want, but they use a summary block and they see this 30 limit. There is a workaround if you buy a plugin, but I'm not going to get into that right here, right now. It might be in the notes or the comment section, but overall, this is, if you use a summary, it is going to limit it at 30. So let's look at some of the differences. Some of the differences are this. If you create a gallery such as like travel, you'll see that all the images will live over here on the side. So you'll have them here. If you want to organize the page, you can change it. And it creates its own gallery page here. Currently it's set up as a slideshow. You can customize this and then also remove. It automatically generates this like header image, which shows up really awkwardly. You could click settings and then go to media and then remove this banner image. This is a bit of a problem because as you drag photos around, so I'll remove it now, but as you'll see, when you have a gallery set up like this, and then you adjust photos, it'll just continue to auto-generate something as that main image. So it could get a little annoying to use this, but overall, these are the different ways you can create galleries. So before we get into anything more about adjusting and getting the right feel, this is how you create galleries. So the question was, I want to create a homepage that has galleries to major themes that go to subsections that then lead to the actual final sections of photos. So one major page that says travel, go in, click on Japan, Germany, or whichever country. Once you click on Japan, see those photos of Japan. So to do that, there's a few ways. And so what I'll touch on now is going through how we use these different sections. All right, so what I have done at this point is I really focused in on creating just a homepage. Now, what you'll see here is you could have a homepage set up as a page or an index. This little symbol here is an index. And the way you create these is you just click the plus sign. You could create an index or you could create a blank page and start from there. So I'm just gonna start with this homepage here and let's click edit. And we will add a little bit of text to the top just so it kind of looks more like a page. Acme Company Photo Galleries. Make this bigger. Okay, so we have this page. What I've done here is I put a summary block. On this homepage, I probably won't have 30 sections. It's gonna be travel, ocean life, wildlife, landscapes, things like this. I might not run into that 30 limit. And so if I'm not gonna run into that 30 limit, well, I could use this gallery block as a setting. So what I did, just to show you, is I click into this menu and you'll see galleries, but then you'll see summary. And so I clicked on wall. This gives you a masonry gallery look and feel. And I have this gallery created in the back end of the site, which is the homepage gallery. And so as soon as I click on that, you'll see the images start to show up. For layout, I choose probably around 330, and then gutter width you can kind of play with and adjust along the way. It looks like it's taking a moment to load, but while it does that, I'll click display. I don't want to show excerpt, and I may show the title. I'll just stack this to 30 now so I don't have to remember it later. And then I don't need the date to be shown, so I'll just keep it at that. For some reason, it's not saving automatically, so I'll hit save, and you'll see it show up. There we go. So it is showing up. So where this gallery is located at the current moment is this homepage gallery. And so I'll show you how I created that as well. Let me click the plus sign. We'll click on gallery and then we'll title this sample gallery new just for the sake of it. And then I will go to, let me just drag in some of these photos here. These are the landscape photos. And so literally you can just drag them in, they are good to go, and they will begin uploading. So I've allowed that to process, but now I'm here back at the home page gallery. And so these are the same images you saw on the home page, which you could see here. These are those same 5 images that we see in this gallery. So to link these images to go where you want them to go, if I click on them, they just open up into full screen. If you don't want that to happen and you want it to go to a specific image, well, this is how you do it. So you'll go into the gallery itself, and then you'll click this little gear wheel. As this gear wheel opens, it gives you a ton of options here. Sometimes this looks a little different. This is a newer format that's being used. Here, first of all, you can type in landscape, so you could use that for a title. Here you can use a description to write in. I don't know if the description will show up natively. It might need custom CSS. Description goes here. So you can see that, options. Here, you can change the click-through URL. So you'll see it here, click-through URL. And then here, all you'll need to do is send it to the right page. So if this is landscape, I'll have a page called landscape galleries, something like this, depending on whatever that URL is, which let me show you how to create that. So I'm using its footer section, but probably not ideal, but landscape galleries. All right, so that is going to be this page. As it opens, I will type in landscape galleries. Oops. And make that bold. Save that, and we'll add images here. But for now, that is there. And what I do is I click the settings wheel, and you'll see that's where I got this URL slug. Because I named it properly from the beginning, it'll be right. But to ever check, you want to make sure that URL slug is correct. And that's all you really need here. So if you type in just a / and add landscape galleries, go back, and then hit save, you're good to go. And so that should be saved. So let me close this and go back to our home page. And now that we're here, you'll see it says landscape here. And so when I click on it, it now takes me to the gallery. So this is step one. This is a big, big step that is really confusing first time around. So it now takes you to this page where we would basically do the same thing again. And then from there, once we do it again, we would be able to take it to a next level of galleries. So for a moment, I'm going to go back and I will look at this here and then click edit. And I want to see, click edit here, display, so show excerpt. There we go. So in this case, both the title and the excerpt, the description will show up on the page. Sometimes there's different ways of doing this, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Here it does. And if I go to layout, the beauty of this is as you're building it, you can start to play with different layouts. So if you go to carousel, you'll see this look and feel. It says featured here. You can basically just get rid of that and not use it and have a carousel going through, or you could have a list, or you can have a grid. So the grid would be a perfect format, right? However you want. Or auto, this is nice, except it leaves this big dead space here because this is a portrait style image. So going back, I'm just gonna go back to wall. Gives a better feel, look and feel here. 30 gutters at 24. Text size here is medium. You want to probably play with this on desktop and mobile, but you could adjust it, feel free, and then text alignment center, however you like, play with it, get a feel for it. And once you are satisfied, you can go from there. So let's say that's how you want to set up the original page. The challenge with a wall block like this is that the end, whatever the end looks like, it just kind of dies like this. It doesn't have a clean ending all the time. So let me go back to homepage gallery. I'm just gonna drag a few photos in here. Okay, so I just added in 2 photos. I tried to add in a few, got 2 in there for now. Okay, 3, there we go. So you'll see it just kind of populates as it goes down. And say this was the very bottom, like there was 25 photos or so, you would see it kind of just ends. So it's a little abrupt or odd, but overall it takes on the feel. Currently, again, this is set up just to Lightbox. So when you click on it, it'll open up like that. But if you actually have a link to it and you click on it, it'll take you to that specific gallery where now we would set up that next level gallery, which I am going to do now in a little bit quicker format. So what I'll do here is I'll come in and then I would click edit. Right here, I will click on. So typically we do this with a summary, but I am going to try something where I do it with a gallery. This is an interesting setup. It's a little bit hidden if you're not looking for it. So if you go to gallery and you go to grid, it'll say upload media. So here on this page, I can upload an entire media of photos. Now, just like the page, I could just drag photos in here, which works great. However, it will only live on this page. If that's okay, then great. But if not, and you need it to live on multiple pages, there's this hidden tab that for so long I rarely used or rarely noticed, which is use existing gallery. So here you could click on use existing gallery, and then you could click landscape. And then what it'll do is it will populate all those photos for you. Now, again, each style has its own formatting, so you have to see what's most applicable to you. But as you can see here, it's starting to load everything. You say, this looks great. With landscape, though, these are all squares. We want to adjust that. So we go to design. There's a few things we can do. Number one, it's saying crop images. Most likely in a gallery like this, you're not going to want to crop anything. So let's remove that. And it's also saying aspect ratio 1:1 square. So it's basically saying take whatever image is in here and put it into a square. So that's why you kind of see this formatting coming up where some are a little bit taller, shorter, all that. If you do want to control it more, you can do aspect ratio. Let's say, for example, landscape. Let's just say all the landscape photos are 3:2. Well, you could select 3:2, do crop images, and then they will all show up as desired. Then from there, you can adjust if you want one per row. Let's do two for a moment. And you can see how they all show up here. Now, this looks like it's not loading properly, and that's just a matter of saving it and coming back. So I'll click apply, click save, allow it to refresh for a moment. And as it refreshes, you'll see this is how it would actually show up. So now you can see how it all lays out, which is really nice. All right, so I'll click back into the page just by double clicking anywhere, go to the gallery, click edit, and then make some more adjustments. So 2, I don't want any spacing between the photos, and I actually want to go to 3, for example, and now that is good. And if you want, you could do show title. I just did remove spacing, so that will look a little bit odd because it'll need a title and then it'll show up a little bit more space, but for now, I'll keep it just like that. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link this first image into another gallery so we can see what that looks like. So to do that, I need to, as I use the existing gallery that's in the menu here, that's way over here, I will go to landscape. And again, same process as before, click the little settings wheel, then click options. You could add a title here if you want, and you could say USA landscapes, for example, and then description goes here, and then go to options, and then do click-through rate, or click-through URL, ocean life. There it is. So just ocean life. There we go. So go back. Perfect. Same thing. All right. Click save. Okay, so now we have linked the 3 levels of the gallery. So first thing is we will click on landscape. Now we're going into a subsection. Here, oh wow, these images are beautiful. Okay, great. Now I could click into a specific one here, and now go into the 3rd level. And this could be set up, right? You could set it up multiple ways. This one happens to be set up as a gallery. That's why it has this slideshow feature where you can just go in and adjust things here. Look at the beautiful pictures of all the fish. There is this random bar here, which is a bit annoying. It sets itself up every time. You could click settings, you could go to media, and then just click remove image and get rid of it. But as soon as you make an adjustment in the gallery, it will always upload a new one. But as you can see here, it looks pretty nice to have it like this. Now, if you're on a gallery page, you see it's highlighted here. If you're on a gallery page and you want to edit the style, maybe you don't like the slideshow. That's what's native in Brine. You can go to design, you can go to site styles, and then once this page loads, you can hover over this section here and you can kind of see it. There's like a blue box coming over this whole section. So I would just click here and you can see the gallery style. So right now it's set up as a slideshow, but you can set it up as a grid. And then from there, and if you set it up as a grid like this, it actually has a really nice feel. So you could adjust the spacing. Let's say you like, whoa, that's a lot, 40. Minimum column width, let's say 320. There you go. You can adjust it. So let's even go 390. Let's go 400. And then when people click on this, do you want the light box style to be light or dark in the background? So that's kind of like the border around the photo. Do you want it to be light or dark? Aspect ratio, it's doing it auto here. So it's doing this masonry gallery, which looks really, really nice in this case, but maybe you want something else. Maybe you want to do 3:2 and make adjustments here. As you can see here, there is not a, let me triple check. There is not a crop or non-crop selection. It just kind of is whatever you choose, right? So if you choose 1 by 1, there's no crop or no, don't crop. It's just as it is. But auto here looks really nice. And if I click save, get out of this, get out of the design panel. When I look at this page, as it loads here, let me get out of that. You can click on the image and you'll see it show up here. And on my keyboard, if I use the arrows, I could easily go back and forth, which is really, really nice. So now we've created 3 levels of galleries, right? So we have the first gallery here, it says landscape, and then you can go in here, see all the landscape galleries here. If I go to edit too, we didn't have names before, so I'm gonna click edit, design, show title. So you'll see it says USA landscapes right here. And because there's no spacing, it's a bit close, but if I add in, let's say 20 there, it looks a little bit nicer there. All right, apply. Click save, and then here you'll click into a gallery, and now you'll see the full gallery. And if you click edit, you can make an adjustment to the gallery pretty easily here. The one thing just to keep in mind every time you do that is it will automatically add the first image as a banner image. So we'll go in, we'll go to media, and we will remove. There we go, click save, and there we are. And we have the gallery as we like. It's really beautiful, huh? So just to pause for a moment, there are a lot of different ways to set up galleries within your site using different formats. The main thing is going to be trying to consider, I think, two key factors, which is what does the final layout look like? What do you want it to look like? And then from there, if you want it to have this masonry feel, a grid feel, do you want it to have a carousel? What do you want it to look like? From there is then utilizing the different tools to click through so you find yourself where you want, how you want, look and feel, all of it. Now, the final thing I want to touch on is using filters. So you may have a gallery that has a lot of images and you may want to filter those images out. So one way you can do that is if I go into, let's say, travel, and I take a look here at the different photos, maybe I don't necessarily need 20 galleries, I just need one gallery that has 20 filters. And so we could go into here and click the settings wheel. And then for tags, we can add in a specific tag. So first and foremost, we can say this is Japan. And I'm just going to copy that for sake for later, save that, and then come in here. You guys are going to love this because this is definitely not Japan. Japan again, save that. You could also use categories in this way. I think categories actually would be more relevant, but in either case, they work the same way. So let's actually, Japan, you create a category there. So then I would click it, or no, because it's showing up, it's selected. It's a little funny, odd, the design there. So if I go to categories, it's still there. Okay, cool. And then if I go to tags, I'll do the same thing, Japan, just add that in for now. And then this final one, I will do the same thing where I will go to tags and then Japan, and then go back and go to categories and find Japan. All right, so that is saved. Now I'm going to go back to, let's say I'll create a new page. So I'll come in here. This will be the travel page, Japan. And so I'll go in here, click on a blank page, call this Japan travel. As that loads, I will click edit. Here I'll type in Japan travel gallery. Set that up. And then below here, I will set up different options, right? We have different options. So here I'll start with gallery and do a grid and show you what that looks like. Use existing, and then I am going to use, oh no, I used travel. So I will use travel there. Okay, so once I title this, I will come in here. Now, you can't filter a gallery, but you can filter a summary. So let's go to wall, and then I will go to travel, and then layout, right? You could adjust the layout how you want. 350 for now, text alignment, those aren't important. Display, there's not gonna really be a date posted, so let's get rid of that. But what I can use here is you see category filter and tag filter. There's even the featured, but we'll just stick with these. So if I start typing in Japan, you'll see it show up and I click on that, it'll show 2 photos. Or I can go here and type in Japan. As you saw earlier, we tagged 2 and tagged 4, and so there are the 4. So now it will show only those photos from that gallery. So if you have repeat images throughout your site and you don't want to use them over and over and over again as new individual files, you can use the same exact file by just filtering through. So if you have one big section of travel and you want to just create a subsection in that gallery, you can do that by just using tags or categories. All right, so that was probably a lot of information. I hope you found that helpful. If you do have follow-up questions, as I assume many will, please use the comments below and we can use that as a space to create new videos for new answers to specific questions around galleries and setup. And with that, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We do have a lot of videos in the pipeline right now for Squarespace tutorials if you are looking for help developing your site to be the best. Also know that on our blog, we have a lot of content built out for Squarespace SEO. So if you go to spacebaragency.com, you will find a lot of information about how to optimize your site for search results. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.